Salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to men by which we must be saved. Our world today wants many options. We want to be able to go into a grocery store and have different options. We want on our television set many different options. So people are saying, well, I want to go to heaven my way. No, my friend, you have to go to heaven God's way. And there is no other way to be saved. Other teachers, yes, but nobody who can clean you up. Nobody who can clean you up, deposit you in God's presence as holy as God himself is. There is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we can be saved. So if you belong to a different religion, just give it up and acknowledge that there's nobody else out there like Jesus. He is indeed a powerful name, an exalted name, an exclusive name. We may say that his love was inclusive, but his salvation is exclusive. Jesus cornered the market on this business of salvation. There is nobody else out there like him. And you'll notice what they said about the apostles. I love this, verse 13, when they saw the courage of Peter and John and realized that they were unschooled, ordinary men. These were just lay people. These were not people who necessarily had all the degrees and all the wisdom and all the knowledge. They learned at the feet of Jesus, and they said, these people, they took note, and they were astonished that these men had been with Jesus. Does anyone at work tomorrow who meets you know that you have been with Jesus? And so the apostles would say to us, there's the need to suffer. There's the need to clarify the issues, that the issue is always Jesus. That's what it comes down to. And it's the issue of Jesus that causes the reaction. It's not other names. It's not even God. Using the name God, as we learned this morning, is no big deal. But you mention the name Jesus and you have an argument on your hands. And the reason is because he's the triumphant one. People say they love Jesus, but they're just thinking about a few little verses that they know. The Jesus who died, the Jesus who was crucified, the Jesus who is exalted at God's right hand. He is not loved by the world. And that's why Jesus said to us who live in the great United States of America, do not be surprised if you suffer, catch this now, for my name's sake. It's the name that people stumble over. And so the apostles would also say, we need to focus. We need to get some things clear here. We need to know where it is that we draw the line. It used to be said in America that he is a great law-abiding citizen and a wonderful Christian. The time will come when maybe you can't say that anymore, because matters of conscience are going to have to force you to become a lawbreaker. Look at what they did. They in verse 17, but to stop this thing from spreading any further among the people, we must warn these men to speak no longer to anyone in this name. Do you notice that? That's the stumbling block. It's not God, just mentioning God. It's this name. And then they called them in again and commanded them not to speak or teach at all in the name of Jesus. But Peter and John replied, judge for yourselves whether it is right in God's sight to obey you rather than God. For we cannot help speaking about what we have seen and heard. You're not going to stop us. Period. Are you all with me this morning? As Christians, we may have matters of conscience over which we disagree. So we have to give one another some slack, okay? We can't necessarily say that one thing is wrong or right for everybody in those gray areas. But there's one non-negotiable issue in these great United States and around the world, wherever we are being broadcast this morning through the internet and later on by radio. There's only one issue, and that is the issue of Jesus. There comes a time when we have to obey God rather than men, especially when it comes to the gospel. And for that, we are not only willing to be marginalized, spoken against, misrepresented, and sent to jail, but we are ready to die for the cause of Jesus. And my dear friend, the day may come when we will have to be ready to die for the cause of Jesus. This is Pastor Lutzer. Some time ago I was talking with a man who gave a lecture on what it would mean if in America we had to live under Sharia law, that is the law of the Muslim religion. And it became very clear, and certainly this is borne out historically, as to what is happening in many countries of the world today, that there may come a time when some of us will have to die for the faith, and the question is, are we ready? In fact, just this past week I was talking to someone who writes children's books, and she says that she is burdened to begin to write books to teach children the importance of being willing to die for their faith. Well, that sounds like a very morbid topic, but the reality is the day may come when we have to be ready to do just that.
Sobering words from Dr. Erwin Lutzer, who has brought us part 2 of He Owns Our Allegiances, the third in his series, When God is First, taken from the book of Acts. Tomorrow, some final lessons on what our allegiance to Christ must ultimately mean. Running to Win comes to you from Chicago's Moody Church to help you understand God's roadmap for your race of life. When God is First is a series designed to help all of us order our priorities. All 8 messages can be yours on CD, cassette, or MP3. For full information, call us at 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Visit our website at runningtowin.org. And don't forget, Running to Win is supported by listeners like you. This is Dave McAllister. Join us tomorrow for our next Running to Win.